Hi guys, Shelly here. Today I'm going to show you all the multiple ways that we use the deer that we were gifted. A couple are experiments that I've never tried before, and some are just interesting ways that we really like. So stick around and we'll let you know how everything turned out. Well, I've got the jerky meat in the dehydrator, and now I'm moving on to these little deer roast. I was going to do one in buckboard bacon, but I've never tried it with deer meat, and you're supposed to use more of a fatty cut, so I don't think I'm going to take a chance on it with this. I'm going to go ahead and do both of them and make corned venison. So I've got the brine over on the stove cooking, and I'll show you kind of what that looks like and what I've got in it. I'm not really giving measurements, but you can find it online, different recipes. So I'm going to get these soaking. We've got some tenderloin in here and a back strap. So I'm going to cook that up. Doug's been wanting me to cook the other back strap, so I guess I'll get to that. And this deer has definitely been a blessing, and we've been able to do a couple of things that we haven't in the past. So we'll show you the end result. And well, some of the end result, you probably don't want to see this whenever I cook it, but the corned beef corned venison should turn out really good. I have my brine going now for the corned venison. Over here I'm toasting what was this? Coriander. Some coriander seeds. Gonna toast those just till they get fragrant. But over here, let me see if I can remember what we have. It's water, of course. We've got kosher salt, sugar, mustard seed, thyme, bay leaves, cinnamon. Like I said, we'll have the coriander in there. What else do we have? We have garlic in there. So I'm going to bring this to a boil and then cover it and just let it sit and cool. And that's going to take several hours for it to cool all the way down naturally. And then we will submerge the meat in here. And just like that, I've already changed my mind. So in this bag that had the back strap, I found this nice little roast that we cut out. And I'm going to go ahead and try the buckboard bacon on this. I want to remove some of this silver skin that's on here. I'll get my knife out and do that. I can't do it one-handed holding the camera. But I'll remove that and show you what it looks like after we add the cure. And so I've measured out. I went ahead and weighed this piece of meat. It's right at 2 pounds. And so I measured out the cure that we're going to use, and you use 1 tablespoon and 1 1/4 teaspoons for each pound. So I've got 2 tablespoons, about 3 teaspoons, and you just add it to the meat, and you want to kind of rub it in, massage it in. I want to make sure that you get the ends down here. So I'm going to work on that. I won't show you the whole thing, but once I'm finished with this is going to go in a Ziploc bag, and it will stay in the refrigerator for 10 days. And I'll set a reminder that it needs to be turned at 5 days. And then once it's finished, we're going to soak it in water and then cook it. So that will probably be a separate video. But I wanted to show you all the different ways that we're using this deer meat. Nothing is wasted, as well as you don't have to just eat, a deer roast or ground deer. There are other ways to prepare it. So we'll get this in the bag, and I think our water is almost ready to put the other roast in for their brining for the corned venison. So here's some of the tenderloin that I'm cooking up. Got 2 pans going, some of it already cooked, and I've got some more that's marinating in a different sauce over here. Lots of garlic, more meat to process. And I wanted to show you guys this. Now this is all the tendons. Once you get to processing like the leg parts, there's a lot of tendons in there and it's hard to get the meat out. So we get as much meat as we can, and then I cook this in the Instant Pot for about an hour to cook all that meat down really good. And then I've pressure canned it, and you can see there's a lot of fat in there. But this will be for dog or cat food later on. Those tendons are real chewy and kind of long, so we didn't want to feed it to them raw and have them choke or anything like that. So again, in the effort to not waste anything, I've got this canned up and they will happily eat that this winter. Well, it is time to cook our buckboard bacon. This has been curing. So put the date on there. We started this December 28th. Today is January the 11th. And so what you have to do is wash this really good. And we're going to soak it in clean water after I wash it. I don't want to make all that noise for y'all to hear. But after I wash it real good, we're going to soak it in clean, cool water for an hour. And then we're going to dry it really good and put it in the smoker. All right, so now I've washed it off really good. Now I've got it soaking in clean water. And I'm going to set the timer for an hour. I'm not sure, again, how this is going to turn out, because normally you do the buckboard bacon with a fatty piece of meat. Like a pork shoulder, Boston butt, something like that. And of course, this deer meat has no or very, very little fat in it. So I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm going to smoke it or not. It's still cold outside here, and our smoker is outside, and I don't know if I'm going to do that or just kind of oven bake it on a really low temperature. But we'll see. Maybe if it warms up a little bit, I'll go ahead and crank up the smoker. But now I'm going to move on to the corned beef or corned venison that I'm making. This is the venison roast that I'm making the corned venison with. They have also been in the refrigerator for about 2 weeks. I've got 2 of them in here. I'm going to take them out. And I'm doing this all in the sink so I don't make a mess elsewhere. Look at that. You can see kind of the coloration changes there. So I'm going to zip this back up and dispose of that later. But we want to just rinse these off. It's got a lot of herbs and spices and stuff on it. And we don't have to get them all off right now, but just kind of rinse it. And it's going in a small pot. Let's do this one really quickly. Sorry, I'll have to listen to the water dripping. All right, so this is the pot that I'm using. As you can see, it's a small pot. I'm trying to get it where you guys can see it. And we're just going to cover that with water. You don't want to use a large pot, and you don't want to use too much water. If you do, it's just going to leach all of that salt and everything back out of that you've worked so hard to get into it. All right, so you can see that I've just barely got it covered with water, and it's a really small pot, so they both just barely fit in there. And we're going to bring this to a simmer. We don't want it to boil, but we want it to simmer. And once it gets to a simmer, I'm going to turn it down just a little bit because I want it on a very low simmer. And we're going to cook this for 3 hours. So I will bring you guys back whenever we get to the end of the cooking time and let you know how it's going. And here's our corned venison. So it cooked, like I said, in a really low simmer for about 3 hours. There's one of them. And here is the other one, all cut up. And it is delicious. I love this. I could eat this just as a snack as is. But I'm anxious to make a sandwich with it. Top it with some sauerkraut and Thousand Island. And make a real corned beef sandwich. So I'm going to go ahead and slice up the other one and get that finished. I've got the buckboard bacon in the smoker, and it's still got another hour or two to cook, but whenever that's finished, I'll show you what that ended up looking like. So here is what is hopefully the last project of the day. This is the buckboard bacon that I just got out of the smoker. See that? So you smoke the meat to 140 degrees. You're not cooking this all the way through because you're going to put it in a pan and cook it just like you would bacon. So see, still have some redness there, but you can see where it has cured. So again, I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. There's no fat in this meat. So it's not going to be like bacon, but it should be a cured meat, and it should be pretty interesting. So might go ahead and cook a couple of sample pieces, let Commander Bacon try them and see what he thinks. And we'll let y'all know in a few minutes. I'll cut some of that outside stuff off. All right, so here's the moment of truth. I cooked this. We have Commander Bacon here to sample it. And again, I have no idea whatsoever how this is going to turn out. So go ahead and try one. This is the buckboard bacon using a deer roast. So I don't know if it's going to be salty. I don't know.
It's not salty.
It's not salty?
It's not bad. It's pretty good. I like it.
Well, good, because we have this much of it.
16 pounds?
No, that was the jerky.
Yeah, it's not quite like bacon, but it's got a bacon kind of flavor to it. It's good.
Good. So it wasn't a complete waste of my time and energy.
No, not at all.
Good. They said that you can use this, the buckboard bacon, whatever it is, preservative stuff, whatever it is, to make Canadian bacon. So yeah, I know your
bacon.
feelings about Canadian bacon.
That's ham.
So I wondered, how it would do with the deer meat, since you can
really
do
good.
it with a lean pork loin. So that is raw. That is not cooked. That would be like eating raw deer meat. So don't do that.
No, I won't do that.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess this one is a success. Yay!
I liked it. Good job. Of course, there's very little stuff that you cook that I don't like.
Yeah, but this one was a complete experiment.
Yeah,
so we had no clue, and I haven't tried it yet either.
We'll have to kill some more deer and
yeah,
do it again. Wonder how it would be with goose meat.
Probably about the same.
Probably pretty good.
All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up, and we will see you guys later. Bye, Commander Bacon.
Bye.